Ah.
All right.
Aha.
Uh-uh.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. We've had a little bit of a hiatus, but we're finally back. I'm your host, the Frankster, and I'm here with my good buddy.
Heart. The Arrow DJ. Heart.
Very nice, sir. We have all your Transformer Earth Wars news and Transformers at large. We got lots to talk about. We've been MIA for a few weeks. You know, it happens sometimes, but we're back and we're excited.
It was my fault.
So let's go. What was that?
It was my fault. I was tired.
Well, you know, tiredness is an issue
I had headaches and stuff, and yeah.
for a head like that. All right, well, let's go ahead and let's get into the recap. And DJ, how did the past weekend in the game treat you?
It was a 500K event, so it was pretty easy. We got it done pretty quick. I didn't get anything extra special. I didn't get any new bots or combat bots or anything. Just a bunch of crystals and shards and, just some spark. Just kind of a chillax crystal cracking. But I think you got some things.
I did. I got 2 and 3-star pinpointer, which was awesome.
Yeah,
I
pinpointer.
actually got the 3-star first, then the 2. I was like, this works.
Yeah, I've got 2-star pinpointer, but I don't have his 3-star version yet. I'd like it, because I do like those. I like fire drive too. People rag on them, but I like them. Anything that increases the DPS of my aerial bots, I'm all for.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to get some good usage out of old pinpointer.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, other than that, I mean, I'm just still trying to save up for the 4-star Titan. It is taking forever. I'm 4,000 and some change away.
Yep.
And I really want to get there. I'm so tired of saving those 4-star shards.
Oh, I don't blame you. It's like when I say for the 5-star shards, man, for Omega Supreme, that was so painful.
Yeah.
But I'm now. It seems like I'm accumulating 5-star shards a lot quicker than I had prior to, because there's a lot more of them being put out there nowadays, because they're trying to increase the number of 5-star bots that are out there. Because they're prepping for other things. 5-star combiners. Speaking of which, though, so me and some of the other content creators released our predictions for who the next 5-star bots will be in batch 10. Frankie, you didn't release a video, so do you have any predictions on who you think will be in the batch?
Ooh, predictions. I don't. You put me on the spot. Why don't you? I do think I'm thinking we're gonna get another gunner though. I really do. And my thought is I would love for it to be Hound, but I'm wondering if maybe it'll be Mirage.
I
I'm thinking,
I
and the only reason I go to Mirage is because 5-star combiners are coming to the game, and at some point they're gonna have to do Optimus Maximus, in which case you're gonna need Mirage.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm you're wrong. And I'm trying to explain to you why, but I threw away all my notes after I made my prediction video.
Ah.
That's not it. And my dog chewed it up, which is why I threw it away this morning. Predaking Volcanicus, Defensor, Abominus. Hang on.
Mirage is Optimus Maximus, though, right? I'm right on that.
Yeah, you're right. He is. Victorion, Menasor, Volcanicus, Defensor, Abominus.
Who are you looking for?
Optimus Maximus. Because I wrote down, when I first started trying to figure this out, I wrote
Because
down...
we've got Pipes, Optimus. I mean, it would have to be, what, Ironhide?
Yeah, but I started mapping out what batches will have what combiner parts a long time ago. Here we go. Optimus Maximus. Optimus Prowl, Sunstreaker. Oh, bugger. Okay,
What?
so I didn't. So I don't guess I did him. Center Twin, Cutthroat, Streetwise Blades. Batch 11. Here we go. So, here we go. So, my thought is that we won't get Mirage until batch 11. That was my thought. And
well, I'm saying I think there's going to be a gunner, and to me, the one I want is Hound, but Mirage to me also makes a lot of sense because if you need a 5-star combiner,
I'd like Hound too, but I predicted Hound in my predictions video, but
okay,
but I think I made a mistake because I don't think we're gonna get Hound until batch 12 or 13. I think we're gonna get Hound in either batch 12 or 13. I don't think we're gonna. I predicted him for this go around, but I don't think we're gonna get him.
Well, I do think we're going to get a gunner, and I think it's between those two. Now, we do need Ironhide for Optimus Maximus, so what I think they're going to do is I think we'll get Mirage first because I just do. And I think we'll get Hound when it comes closer to time to finally roll out Optimus Maximus as a 5-star. Because I feel like him and Superion need to be 5 stars the most.
Maximus, well, Maximus for sure, because he's the one that would most greatly benefit from it.
And Superion also could use a bit of a boost because he's been in the game the longest.
Yeah, but he was
so
also...
to me, those two make the most sense. That's why, and also Skydive would make a good new 5-star bot.
Skydive, we won't get him this batch. Of that, I'm certain. We will get him. Why did I throw away my notes? We'll get him in batch 10, 11, or 12. We'll get him in 10, 11, or 12. Well, we won't get him in 10. I already know we won't get him in 10 because we've got Shattered Glass Jetfire in this batch. It won't make sense to have 2 aerial bots that are both effective one-shotters. That'd be too many of those in one batch. So I think in this batch we'll get Air Raid, which was my prediction in my video, because that's 2 air class bots, but only one of them is a one-shotter, so it's okay to put them both in the same batch. And then Skydive or Power Glide will be batch 11.
So, it's possible.
Yeah.
Like I said, Skydive or Air Raid definitely have to be at some point.
Yeah.
I'd rather see Skydive before Air Raid, but
I would too, but and I would have hoped for Skydive this go around, but with Shatterglass Jetfire being in there, there's no way. Because that would just be 2 OP aerial bots in one batch.
Yeah, you still got to get them, though.
Eventually, but to put them both in the same batch would be too much. So I think if we get Skydive sooner rather than later, it'll be batch 11. If it's not Power Glide. And Power Glide could benefit from a 5-star bot, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, Power Glide, it's hard to get him to one-shot something.
Well, his ability we'll get into it. He's aerial bot, and we're ranking aerial bots today.
We are, in fact, ranking aerial bots. So, yeah, we got off on a tangent there. Let's go ahead and reel it back in and get on with the show because aerial bots are coming up. It's going to be awesome. So, DJ, I'm going to send it to you to let you do what it is that you do.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Let's get the show on the road, and I will do what it is I do. And what I do is news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in the news, and our upcoming weekend event is called Small Scale Warfare. So this is going to be a 1 million point event, and combat bots are the focus. Well, we're going to get 50 combat chips. We're going to get combat spark. I think our 2 new combat bots are being released this weekend. So here's the prizes: up to 1,500 5-star shards, or 5-star combat shards, excuse me. 2,500 4-star shards, 5,000 3-star shards, 50,000 premium crystal shards, G1 G metal core chip, 2 G metal power core chips, and 6 gold power core chips, 300,000 combat spark and regular spark. Again, 1 million point super XP, as has been the norm. So here's your prize breakdowns. So you see what each prize comes at what tier. And then down here at the bottom, here's the look of our new combat bots, Tricerashot, and I forgot the other one's name, Heartburn. Now, these combat bots are unique that they are only equipable by scout bots. A scout bot would be one of the following. Afterbreaker, Bumblebee, Punch, Rustdust, Chromia, Perceptor, Cheetor, Blur, and their Decepticon equivalents. I'm kind of mixed feelings on that because scout bots definitely need a buff because they're the one class of bot that I don't touch at all. But at the same token, I don't necessarily like that we have combat bots that are only equipable by this class.
It's really good for Cheetor, though, because it heals as it does damage. So then even when he's not in alt mode, he's still healing as he does damage.
He is. Now, personally, I like Rat Trap on Cheetor more because when he's in
I do too.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's still, if you don't have Rat Trap and you end up with this one, though.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That's going to be a hard... It may be a while before I actually start using these because I don't know...
I think I'm going to put it on Punch.
Yeah, because I know you do
That's
like Punch.
Really good for Punch.
Yeah. All right. So, Community Corner. All right, we got some, of course, drawings and illustrations by other members of the community. Oh, look, it's Optimus Angry Bird Maximus. There you go. Somebody's
cool.
Transformers toy collection looking pretty good. And Saga schedule. We are currently in week 3, 5-star combat shards, 1 million points. The next event will be an individual totalizer with prestiges. The score has to be announced. And then our final event will be a chance event with 1.5 million points to be had, where we get new bots and new crystals. And then we got a few bug fixes down here. They made some changes to the Gunner perk for the Titan tree. And then they made some changes to Zor and Slugfest, who are combat bots, to be effective while defending your base. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the news.
All right, so pretty interesting newsletter. I don't like that they lowered the gunner buffs that are available on the Titan tech tree.
Yeah.
Mainly because I've been throwing all my resources into those, and now they've been nerfed.
Well, they do talk about that in the live stream today. They did make mention of it. Now, I didn't pay a whole heck of a lot of attention to that because whenever they make changes and buffs to things like that, it doesn't change how I play the game. For me anyway. I mean, for some people it might change everything about how they play, but for me personally, I just keep doing like I do. So I was like, oh, they did that? Okay, and I move on. I don't question it. I don't raise heck about it, so.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I didn't spend all the resources on a lot of those buffs, so I'm like, really? Seriously?
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, I'm not even hunting particular buffs in the Titan tree. I'm just leveling one after another, and the only attention I'm paying to it is I'm avoiding anything to do with the healers. I'm not buffing them at all. I'm going around those, but doing everything else just for the sake of using up the points and then just continuing on down the list. So
see, I've been buffing gunners first, then the combiner buffs in the attack section. The combiner buffs, then aerial bot, then minions, and then if I still haven't spent enough to move ahead, I'll do the medic ones. That's the priority I've been giving them. But so now I'm just like, seriously, you just took out half the percentage of all my buffs I put on my gunners.
Yeah.
Like the bots, I have a specific strategy built around that class of bot. That's the ones I prioritize.
Yeah.
So. But any other news in the live stream today? Because I know you were checking that out.
Yeah. So we got a bunch of stuff. It was almost a news overload. So first, they did release information about our new bots coming. So we are going to get Whirl and Sea Phantom, Whirl Autobots, Sea Phantom Decepticons. We got some renderings of them. We didn't get like the full on. What they're going to look like. We just got some very rough 3D renderings while they're still working on it because they're still in early development. But good chance, like they didn't say for sure, but good chance that these are going to be gunner bots. there is, by popular demand, a third research slot coming in the lab. So we're going to be able to upgrade 3 bots at one time. I feel like they were saying that's going to be coming within like in the next week, but I think maybe I misheard that. That's probably going to come with HQ 18.
Yeah.
And then of course new combats, Triceratops Shot and Heartburn. They demonstrated those. They made mention of the new missions and how that's going to work, and we went into that in detail the last episode of the podcast. But I think that is going to be released next week as well. So There's a lot of stuff coming really, really soon. No more mention of 3-star or 5-star combiners. They've not said anything about that. They have, however, confirmed, because there were suspicions that this was going to be a 7-bot 5-star batch for batch 10, and they have confirmed that that will not be the case. This will be a 5-bot batch as usual. We already have 2 of those bots, so 3 more to come. They may or may not release a community vote to vote for one of the bots. 2 of them have already been predetermined, so who knows? But it's going to be a 5-bot batch like normal. It's just that we already know who 2 of them are.
Cool. All right, so fun times, lots of exciting things in the game. I love the extra research spot, though. I've been wanting that for a while. I need that badly.
Yeah.
You get the backlog of 4-stars that are level 50 to 51. Yes. Get that as soon as possible, Space Tape.
Or in my case, the backlog of bots that are like level 40.
Oh yeah, you need to start getting them all to 50, man. Like, you would be scoring like so much more.
Well, I don't. The ones that are 40 or below, I don't use them. Like, they're bots that are not in my, like, I don't grind events with them. I don't PvP with them. The only thing I do with them is grind elimination mode. And I'm now at a point where I have 3 million Z Energons, so I don't need / want them. I collect them, I get them, but I don't. Once I get them to a certain point, and the only reason I started bringing them all to 40 was because there were still certain bot powers that I was trying to get to, like overall bot power for your player. And now that I've got the max, like I've to unlock squad slots, and now I've got the max squad slot, so now I'm just leveling all of them to 40 out of habit. Unless it's a bot that I'm absolutely going to use, which they're few and far between. So
makes sense. I got you. Yeah. I don't like leaving them, especially my 4-stars. I don't like leaving any of them needing research. I want them to constantly be growing.
Well, if I'm not using them, they're not going to get XP and they're not going to level very often. So I get them to 40. They're there, and if I decide if something in the game changes, if they suddenly become useful to me somehow, it won't take me much to get them up to 50, which is where I keep most of my bots anyway and grind out like zones 12 and 13 in events. So, but when I get my last 2 5-star bots out of batch 9, my B team, I will begin leveling that towards level 60, finally.
All right. I'll say it's about time we head to the mailbag segment. So, DJ, I'm going to hand it back to you to work your magic once again.
Mailbag.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in the mailbag. And our first comment comes from Volcanica69. And he says, what happened to episode 23 of the podcast? Well, we talked about before. I had some headaches and I got a big head, so that's kind of a big deal with me. I just had a couple of bad weeks, so it's my fault. I apologize, but we're back. Congratulations, you made it. He says, just wondering, I ranked up Metroplex this past weekend and got 2 4-star combat bots. From everything else, I got dupes, especially in the Volcanicus. Got mainly Swoop dupes. It was like there was a sale on Swoop. Yeah, we experienced a little bit of that ourselves, especially Frankie. Didn't you get like 6 of the same bot from the Defensor bundle or something like that?
Yeah, no, I got like 6 or 7 out of the 10 when I cracked 10 was the same bot. I believe it was the Rust Renegade bundle, if I'm not mistaken. It was insane. Just same bot over and over again. It was like something was wrong with the coding or something, because you shouldn't get the same bot that many times.
Yeah, now I didn't pay attention because I knew they were going to be dupes. I have all the combiner bots, so I was just like hit 10 and then go do something different. And then when I came to I just fast forward it with some behind it, So it's like I didn't fool with it. Anywho, all right, our next comment comes from Matt Pauly. Says, another cool show. Thanks, guys. Well, thank you, Matt Pauly. We appreciate you. And he says, I'm not sure that having Titans on lots of game modes full-time is best, especially for the events, but it would be cool if they brought Titans into different modes short-term for continuity events, or for community events. Like a week with them in Elimination and Global Zen Farmed depicts community prizes. That's not a bad idea. I like that. That would actually work better.
That is a neat idea. I do pretty good solution to the problem, I think.
Yeah.
So
he also says, Timothy Dalton was clearly the worst Bond. However, he was pretty good in Hot Fuzz. A must watch if you haven't seen it. Well, I have seen Hot Fuzz, and that movie is awesome. So congratulations to you for having excellent taste in movies. However, Dalton is clearly not the worst Bond, as our list will show.
I have to respectfully disagree with the Dalton thing. He's not the worst. He just plays it very serious, but that's not a flaw. It's anything, it made him unique until Craig, who attempted the same style, but obviously threw some jokes in, especially in the later movies.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that.
We will. Dalton is lower half, though. I will agree. I will concede that. Dalton is definitely lower half of the 6 to have played the character. All right. Our next comment comes from Bossman6774, and he says, so glad to see that Space Ape is going to evaluate leaderboard events. Anxious to see what they will change. Maybe they will do like DJ suggestion, ban the purchase of fuel cells during leaderboards. So I actually made a suggestion during today's live stream on how to fix that. And essentially what I suggest is using a unique fuel cell for the event, similar to what we have in raids, that is not purchasable. So that way players can grind through those fuel cells in the event. They are forced to take a breather in between grinding sessions. That will improve quality of life. It will also help to bridge the gap between pay-to-play and free-to-play players. So that solves a lot of different problems. Now, obviously, some players will still use actual money and purchase cyber coins to refresh their bots over and over again. But as far as time between grinding sessions, that problem will be solved by these fuel cells. So that is my suggestion. Hopefully they'll do something similar to that. We'll see. All right, our next comment comes from Darth Ziggy. As always, awesome episode. Having Titans in weekend events would be rather OP, so this guy agrees with Matt Pauly. When you can take 5-star Titan Omega Supreme and 1-star bot in solo Zone 15. Yeah, he's not wrong. That is kind of OP. He says that's a little much. But have it as a special weekend event. Like instead of leaderboard, have Titan grind time event. Or when they release Unicron in the game, have Titans fight alongside you. So having Unicron in the game will be kind of crazy. Who knows if they'll actually do that or not. I guess he fully expects it to happen.
That's down the road, I would feel, if they did.
Yeah.
But I mean, Titans are a little OP, but you had to put a 5-star combiner with them by what he said. It's a 5-star Mega Supreme and a Titan together.
Yeah.
Of course, that's going to be OP. I mean, but that's part of the fun of the Titan also, is that it's OP. I mean, that's part of the appeal.
Yeah. I mean, in the live stream today, they did say that they didn't want Titans to be as big a part of gameplay. They just wanted it to be a smaller part of the gameplay. So that's why they're making some tweaks, like the tweak that they made to the gunner boost in the Titan tech tree. But Frankie, you're right too, though. Like, having OP characters from time to time is part of the fun of the game. You just go in there and smash something, you know.
Yeah, if everything's equal, to me, it wouldn't be as fun as earning. You have to earn the OP bots. You can't just get them from the beginning.
Yeah.
But if it's something you earn, that's part of the fun.
Yeah, and then it's only temporary. You know, you can't spam them constantly, like every time you log in, unless you're paying a bunch of money to refresh these things over and over.
Yeah.
All right, our next comment comes from William Edward Heckman. No, I'm sorry, I skipped one. Volcanica69 had another comment. He says, I wish that they would add Titans to more modes just RSS, other than just RSS battles and war. It would be great. It would help out a lot, and the Titan would get more XP to level up perks faster. I'm a little behind in that area. I did get the catch-up bundle to catch up. I'm about to rank up Metroplex soon. Well, that's awesome, Saw. So I guess he was kind of agreeing with what I had said, that I wish it was more accessible to all the different game modes. But the more I read that players think it would be OP, but have it for a limited time and for certain events, I think I like that better. I think it makes more sense, to be honest. All right, and then our next comment comes from William Edward Hackman, and he says, I'm HQ 15, and it will be a while before I get to HQ 17, so I can't get to Titan just yet, but I'll watch other people on YouTube that are using a Titan in the game. Yeah, that's part of the fun of getting those things, is the anticipation of getting it when you're watching other players use them. As like, then you're sitting there thinking, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Of course, you get the character, and then you realize you can't do everything you thought you were going to do. But, that's just part of having fun.
Yep.
All right, our next comment comes from the return of John J. Pollock.
I will find him!
Just now leveling my HQ to 17. I have a little over a week until it will be ready, so I'm anticipating getting my Titan ASAP as soon as I can. I don't blame you. That's going to be awesome sauce. Good luck to you when you get them. And then he also goes on to say that the gap between the pay-to-play and free-to-pay would probably be around the same due to the fact that most pay-to-play players would already have the Titan, therefore more in leaderboard events. So therefore the pay-to-play players would score even more in leaderboard events.
Yeah, they would keep the balance of who can score more because they would already have unlocked all the higher stuff, which is true. It would still be a gap, but it wouldn't be, I don't think, a meteoric gap as somebody that spends like 100, 200 a weekend versus, somebody who doesn't.
Yeah, you guys are probably right. But all right, our next comment comes from Kustav Talukdar, and dude, I apologize if I mispronounced that. Next episode, please comment the proper way to pronounce your name, and I'll make sure to get it right next time. All right, but he says, I would love to hear your thoughts on outpost bots. We can talk about that in another episode, but really just whatever annoys you when you're attacking a base, just do that.
Like Chromia.
I hate that.
I love Chromia.
Because there's different ways to do it. Some people go with stun, like Chromia. Some people go with pure air, like Tigerhawk Swoop. Some people go with high HP, like Slug, Trailbreaker, Ironhide Pipes, bots that have a lot of HP and it takes a long time to get rid of them. So it just depends on what your base setup is and what makes the most sense to you.
And bots that hack, they're good.
Yeah. I personally keep my 5-star Cheetor on Outpost bot because he will wreck a team if they're not prepared for it.
Yep.
So, all right. Our next comment comes from Fear Anarchy, and they say, topic, what is your plan for doing research throughout the week? Example, I do my level 40 plus during the week to set up for the weekend, then do my level 20s and 30s. 1 and 5 hour respectively. During event, I can also use the XP to boost more. I also don't upgrade base weapons during event if it can be helped. I don't. So you pretty much hit the nail on the head. There's not a whole lot else we can talk about there because that's really the most efficient way to do it. You know, you can level up your, up to level 20 during the week because you can do that one battle apiece. But then from 20 to 30, you probably want that super XP to get it in one shot, and then you take 1 day to level it to 40, and then you can do that, and it takes a day, I think. Like, you get 1 hour, then 5 hours, then a day. Once they're at 40, you definitely want that super XP to get to level 50 and above. But essentially, the way you do it is that's pretty much the most efficient way to do it. I mean, I don't really have much of a different opinion.
No, that's fairly you just want to be able to upgrade the bots that need the extra XP on the weekends.
Yeah.
Try to keep the weekends open.
Yeah.
So
our next comment comes from William Wilkinson. I pulled Optimus Maximus, I pulled 3-star Optimus Prime to form Optimus Maximus on the last event. Well, congratulations to you, because extra combiner is very helpful when grinding events, when doing PvP, or when in wars. Now, it depends on what level you're at. Me, personally, I think Optimus Maximus sucks. Worst combiner in the game. But Frankie loves him. So it just depends on how you play the game.
Yep.
So, all right, and our last comment comes from I Will Find Him, and he says, I will find him.
You would think you would have found him by now. I'm just saying, I guess the search continues, so.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the mailbag segment.
All right. Well, that was the mailbag. Some nice comments from people. We appreciate every single one of you that comment and watch the show. We love you all. Thank you so much. It's time to get into the meat and potatoes of this podcast, though, and that's ranking aerial bots by a rating of James Bond's. We're only counting the Eon MGM films, so only the main series, and we're ranking them in the order. We had a little bit of debate here. I know DJ wanted Roger Moore at the bottom, and I would not have it. I'm like, Roger Moore is not the worst Bond, not even. And, you know, personally, Daniel Craig and Timothy Dalton, the way we have them ranked, my personal opinion is actually flip of that. But that's fine. I'll concede that because Roger Moore didn't get the basement. That's fine. He's not the basement. So the order is, of course, Connery as the tippy top best. I mean, he's the definitive Bond. It is what it is. Pierce Brosnan, we got number 2 because we both felt like his Bond was such a good combination of all that had came before him.
Yep.
Like he felt like all of them melded together. And he was our generation's Bond too. So you got to throw that in there. There's some love there.
Yep.
He's our Bond.
Yep.
Craig is 3rd. Nothing wrong with that. Craig's a phenomenal Bond.
Oh, yeah.
His quality, his movies, I have an issue with. I mean, Casino Royale, amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Skyfall, really good. The rest of them are all over the place for me.
The only one I really don't think that I'd rewatch is the last one, and then his second one was
Quantum was my least favorite.
It was a solid action movie, but it felt the least like a Bond movie of all his films.
Like the quality of his portrayal is not disputed. It's the quality of his films.
Yeah.
That he was in. It's just, but Dalton's 3rd. I'll take it. He only had 2. I love them both, especially License to Kill. That's amazing. Roger Moore, longest tenured Eon Bond. I mean, technically, if you count Connery's Never Say Never Again Thunderball remake, they're tied. But if you don't count that, Moore's the longest tenured. I like Roger Moore. I love him. He was the perfect Bond for the 70s. But I think he's right on this list. I think he's in the right spot. Lazenby, he's last. One film, phenomenal film. But honestly, his Bond was not the best part of that film. And I mean, it ain't his fault. The guy wasn't actually an actor when he got that role. He bluffed his way into it. So I guess good on him for that. You bluff your way into a role. That's something.
I'll be honest with you. I still haven't gone all the way through the movie without falling asleep. I have
love
yet
On
to
Her
see
Majesty's
this
Secret
movie
Service.
because every time I start watching it, I fall asleep.
Yeah. Like I said, I love that movie. So it's old school. It's slow. It's a product of its era, the 60s, but I love it. So, all right. We got a lot to rank, so let's get moving on. DJ, you want to start the ball rolling with introducing the aerial bots we're going to rank?
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and start with our first aerial bot, and this is a bot that's been in the game since day 1. They have a 1-star version, and that is Stormclash. So where do we rank Stormclash?
Stormclash is not bad. It's not a bad bot at all.
It's not.
I mean,
I
don't have it at the tippy top of my aerial bots, but I don't have it nowhere near the bottom either. So,
well, I have Stormclash on my A squad. It's one of the only
go.
bots that I have in my entire game that is above level 50. It's level 59, as a matter of fact, because keep in mind that when I rank my aerial bots, I'm mostly judging them based on their ability strength.
Yeah.
And her ability is by far one of the strongest in the game because it has a powerful initial one-shot, and then it sets the target on fire, which does a little bit of additional damage. So she's by far one of the strongest aerial bots in the game. I have 4 aerial bots on my A squad, and she is number 3 out of my 4. So, I mean, I put her Pierce Brosnan.
That's exactly where I was going to put her.
Yep.
Pierce Brosnan.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Because I don't think it's quite highest tier, but I think it's like you said, if you're ranking on ability, it's right up there.
Oh, yeah.
That is a really good ability.
Yeah, that is
So
exactly
I
where
will
I
give you
believe she
that.
goes.
Stormclash is Pierce Brosnan.
Alrighty. Our
All
next
right.
aerial bot is Strafe. Where would you rank Strafe?
Strafe is so good. That ability is so amazing.
I'm putting him in Connery. I'll be honest. Strongest ability in the game.
Yeah, aerial. Basically, what aerial Centis? Basically,
Basically, yeah. And I mean,
yeah.
when you do the math, it does more overall damage than any of the other aerial bots. Several of them. I mean, a couple of them put together.
Yeah,
The
I'll agree,
3-star
Connor,
version is very. I had the 3-star on my B squad.
See, I don't have the 4, and I got the 3-star late on, so I haven't really optimized it. But I do know how good it is, and I'll agree with you. I'll go Connor.
Bond. James Bond.
Yeah,
Let's go top tier.
Takes out 3 defenses in one go. You know, is how strong that ability is. It's crazy. Almost OP.
Very much so. So there we go, Strafe.
Alrighty. All right.
Starting off good. Got 2 right at the top of the rankings.
Yeah. Our next is Skydive, and now the only downside to Skydive for me is if you're competing at a high level, like if you're warring or you're event grinding on a zone 14, zone 15 base, and it has a rejuve core on it, or if it has a build bot near it with a healing core. That's where his ability suffers because it does gradual damage. The total damage is amazing. The total damage is up there with Stormclash. It's beyond Stormclash, as a matter of fact. And I would put him Bronzeman, but because the damage is not instant, if there's a rejuve core involved, you're in trouble. And you've wasted your ability.
Not only that, but then that defense can keep hitting targets while it drains the health. That's the thing, because it's a gradual. Like, I like to one-shot with aerial bots to get a defense off the board.
Right.
Usually starting with missile launchers. With Skydive, it will get it off the board, but you're susceptible to fire from that defense while it's doing its job. And while I'm not saying Skydive's a bad bot, I would go Craig.
I would too. Yeah, that's what I would do as well.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Skydive is a lot like Daniel Craig's Bond movie. Sometimes it's amazing. Sometimes it's a train wreck in motion. Sometimes it literally has a train wreck in the movie.
Yeah, Skyfall had a train fight.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pretty epic one too.
Oh yeah. All right. So our next bot is Firefly.
Ooh.
Now Firefly does not have the strongest ability in the game. Firefly, if you're comparing apples to apples, 4 stars across the board. Firefly did not make my A squad. But it has a good level 11 ability in that it does area damage in addition to the damage it does to the single target. Just got his own G1 core, which adds a shield to him when he's in the air and increases the damage he does, just like Enhanced Ordnance will do. I like Firefly.
I do too. Firefly's on my A team. He was the first 4-star aerial bot I got, so he is the highest level, aka why he's on the A team.
Yep.
But I love Firefly. I would not go lower than Brosnan. And honestly, if you've got the level 11 ability and the core on him, he's almost borderline Connery at that point.
Yeah, but see, I have his 5-star. He's by far probably one of the strongest aerial bots that I have. Again, apples to apples. But once you compare him to like 5-star Jetfire, 5-star Cybertron, or 5-star Shattered Glass Jetfire, their abilities are going to be stronger. Now, granted, Shattered Glass Jetfire, his ability is too expensive, but
I was going to say he has advantage of cost over Shattered Glass Jetfire, but
compared to regular
putting
Jetfire,
him Brosnan. I'm just saying I think he's very close to being all the way.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm torn between Brosnan and Craig.
I would give him Brosnan because I love Firefly. I mean, he is so useful.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Because if nothing else, because his ability is cheap, and if you level it well enough, it'll do what you need it to do. So you can spam it more often.
And you can spam it, and you can wipe out a lot of stuff. So that's why I'm like, he should be at least there.
Yeah. Alrighty. So next on the list is Jetfire. And if we've got Firefly in Brosnan, then Jetfire definitely goes there because his base ability is essentially the same as Firefly's, but it's stronger.
Yeah.
And it costs the same.
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Jetfire's right up there.
Yeah. I wouldn't put him in Connery because there are stronger bots, but for sure, Jetfire is right there with him.
Yeah, no, they're both amazing aerial bots. So, and there's nothing wrong with being Pierce Brosnan.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with being Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan was the bee's knees. All right, next is Jetfire Sky Striker, and this is one that's a little harder to determine because his ability is it will do singular damage to a target.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have the 4-star at level 50. I have the maxed gold enhanced coordinates core on him, and I have his ability at level 6. He will do damage to a single target of 1544. But then he does area damage of 129 times 16. 16 individual rockets that each do 129 damage, all of them in an area. So he has a good chance to destroy what you're aiming at, but it's not consistent.
Yeah.
Honestly, because of the inconsistency and because of the convolutedness of the way his ability works and the math, and I would put him in Dalton.
I get that. I will give you that. Okay, we'll go Dalton. I really like him, but you're right. His ability is slightly inconsistent.
Bond, James Bond.
Yeah, I like him.
I use the heck out of him, but yeah, I would. When you're comparing him with the others, that's about right.
Yeah. I do like him. I do use him on my B squad, but that ability is just not. It's. I don't know. Plus, I mean, he turns invisible.
Yeah.
And so he's immune to air damage. But I'll be honest with you, I do a lot of aerial bot spamming, and very, very seldom do I run into an issue where my bots are getting damaged by anti-air. Very seldom do I run into that. So, and it's because most people don't expect an air show, because air shows have been out of the meta for a while. So the fact that I still do it makes me unique, because most people aren't defending against that anymore. So I don't, like I said, I don't run into an issue anymore. And this is the point that Waza and Tex made when they ranked aerial bots back in the day, is that, you know, Sky Striker turns invisible, but no one's really defending against that anymore. So what good does it do? You know,
it'll eventually come back around, though.
Oh yeah, everything comes back around.
And when it does, that'll be a useful thing.
Yeah. What's old is new again. But for today, you know, May the what's today? The 12th, May 12th, 2022. Jetfire Sky Striker is Timothy Dalton. All right, next is Silverbolt, and I like me some Silverbolt.
I do too. Now, his ability takes a defense out of play. I've ran into with my Silverbolt, my 4-star. There's sometimes in war or in events when it's a stronger base with a maxed out missile launcher, it doesn't always take it all the way out anymore. It doesn't one-shot it necessarily, which leaves. And I know higher up you get where it's, you know, you can get it immune to his the core for the build bot that can make it immune to his attack anyway.
Yeah.
And you have to take out the build bot before you do that. So not only is there a counter for him, but I'm running into issues with mine. Maybe I need to pump the ability up a little bit more, but where he'll leave just a little bit of health on that missile launcher, and I have to dedicate a second attack to finish it. And so I'm going to go Dalton.
Yeah, I would agree with you, because I've got the 4-star level 50 maxed enhanced ordnance core gold level 6 ability. Yeah. The ability is 177 damage per second for 17.5 seconds. I did the math. That comes out to total damage of 30,000 or 3,097. So there are defenses who have higher health than that, and that's probably why you're running into issues where it's not quite taking it out. So if you're above zone 12, it'll be a good idea to have his ability above level 6. So
yeah, zone 13 is when he starts running into issues. So yeah, you're about right on with that.
yeah, so yeah, I would say Silverbolt is Dalton. If for no other reason, there's just too many counters to his ability now with the new cores coming out.
Yeah, the higher you go, like not only will you run into health that he can't combat, but you'll run into counters as well that will, I mean, at that point you've got to waste an attack to get rid of the build bot to be able to even use them.
Yeah. All right. So that leads to our next spot, and that is Beast Wars Silverbolt. And I will put him in Craig because his ability, it's effective. It first of all, it will do damage. If it destroys the target, it will do damage to the surrounding targets. And then if you have if your bots are in the vicinity, it will heal them for a percentage.
See, I team him with Windblade, and that is a lethal combination because I use his ability first on something like a mortar launcher that doesn't have like a lot of health, but that is right next to the defense I'm sending Windblade after. Pops the mortar launcher, starts healing Windblade while she's shredding through what she's shredding through. That is a great combination to do with Beast Wars Silverbolt.
Absolutely.
Or any similar bot that can do like what Windblade does. Go to something and use that ability. I would have went Brosnan, honestly, with Beast Wars Silverbolt. I'm that high on Beast Wars Silverbolt.
I'm in Craig because his ability is it's multifaceted.
Yes.
But it doesn't do like I have the 4-star, same thing, level 50, maxed out core, ability level 4. It does a total of 2,835 damage before it starts breaking down into the smaller, segments. So but it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to destroy the target to spread, though. It only has to get it down to a certain percentage, and then it'll spread.
Yeah. Okay.
So for that reason, you know what? I think I'm on board. I think Brosnan.
Yeah, it's just got it's got that extra usage that makes up for the lack of damage.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Love me some Beast Wars Silverbolt.
Yeah, he's just ugly is the only thing. If
this
was based on looks, if this was based on character design, he'd be Lazenby all day long. So, all right, our next bot is Tigerhawk, and buddy, that's if that's not Connery, that's Brosnan all the way, because Tigerhawk and Swoop, respectively, are just they can solo bases up to a certain point. They're stupid powerful.
They are. I think Swoop's a little bit more powerful, or at least in my experience, I get more mileage out of Swoop than Tigerhawk, but they're close.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with Connery if you want to go Connery, because holy cow, Tigerhawk can just decimate a base.
Oh yeah, you can solo bases with him. You use him enough times, you weaken an area, and his ability slows down what's below him.
Yeah.
So that's another. Tigerhawk, he's a good bot. You put an enhanced ordnance core on him. That's just mean, Yep. He's a good bot for
enhanced
sure.
ordnance, and like I do, throw a flak on him. Him and Swoop both put flak on him.
Yep.
Enhanced ordnance core, level it up, let them have at it.
Yep. All right, our next bot is Shattered Glass Jetfire, and I was gonna go Dalton with him because he's too expensive, and his hollows are pretty useless. I don't really see much benefit to them. I run aerial bots constantly, and
they draw the missile launcher fire off. I know from experience. Also, with him, it's not even the ability. Like, I only have the 3-star, and he is literally outlasting some of my 4-stars and my 5-star primal when I'm doing tougher battles in events and stuff, like, because he's on the minion bot squad.
Yeah.
There's been like 3 times in the past couple weekends where I went like more than that their bot power should probably go,
Yep.
and he'll be one of the last ones standing, taking out the HQ. And I'm really impressed with just take the ability out, just him as a bot, how like strong he lasts and damage he does is on his own. Like I've had nothing but good results from my 3-star.
I do. I mean, I have him, and I put him on my C squad, which is not a bad place for my bots to be. But I have him on there strictly because his ability is so powerful. It's one of the most powerful one-shotters in the game.
It does.
But it's too expensive. I don't see the benefit of his hollows because I immediately target rocket launchers once I launch my bots. Like as long as they're in range, that's one of the first things I take out.
Well, see, with my minion bot squad, though, as far as long range, it's only him and Hound's only going to hit the target once and then hit targets around it. So I'll use him to, once I get in range of one of the 2 missile launchers, because there's on 13, so there's at least 2 missile launchers. He'll hit that one, draw the fire of the other one while we get a little bit closer, and I either hit the other one with him or use one of the other bots to get to it. So it is helpful for that team. If it's a team like you with several other aerial bots, you're not going to waste the points just to do the hollows when you can send Silverbolt or Jetfire and just boom, boom, and be done with it.
Yeah, I literally wait until I've used up all my other aerial bots and their abilities have gotten a little bit more expensive before I use his, because then they're on like an even keel. But for the hollows, I mean, maybe it's useful for some people in the way they do it. I personally have not found any benefit to them, and I think his ability is too expensive. So I would have him in Dalton, but
I'm okay with Dalton because, I mean, he does have some downsides. The expensive ability, and is the biggest drawback to him. So I would be okay with that. But I do think he can be really useful for certain people and strategies because I found him to be extremely useful.
Yeah, if his ability was cheaper, I think he'd be higher on the list. But that, for me, that's the biggest thing that holds him back. Is it's just, what is it?
I'm
5
just surprised
4?
that he surprises me because he's on a team with 4 and 5-star bots, and he's usually last one standing, and that to me is impressive.
Yeah, that is pretty good. I don't know. All right, so next is Trax.
Ooh,
Roger Moore.
You do not like Trax.
Well, I don't consider him an aerial bot, to be honest.
I really haven't ever either. I mean, I know he is, but I'm with you. I don't think of him that way. His ability can be useful if you have like a walking squad and you want to fire it ahead of them to limit the damage.
Yeah.
He's one of them bots. He's good in certain areas, certain situations, but I don't know if I'd say he's like all amazing all the way around.
Yeah, that's me too. I mean, he is useful under certain circumstances, but he's not a true aerial bot, in my opinion, because he has what I consider to be a special ability. You cannot put an enhanced ordnance core on him because even though he can be equipped with it, it does nothing.
Yeah,
so so it's useless in that front. So he's limited to what cores you can put on him.
He's basically the cliff jumper of aerial bots.
Yeah, basically. So because I think he's misclassified. His ability is situational, in my opinion. Other people, swear by him. I not so much.
Well, with your aerial bots, his wouldn't make much sense for you. I mean, with your aerial bot strategy, his thing wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, and
it's more if you want to use like a walking team or a prime rush. He could help a prime rush team out.
He could, or a gunner squad. He could be useful on my gunner squad. But I use Hound and Warpath, and they take out all the long distance things that could be a threat to my gunners before they ever get there.
Yeah.
So for me, Trax is. I mean, as long as you're okay with it, Trax.
Yeah, no, I'm fine because, like I said, that's with the caveat of if you want to use him a specific way, he could be amazing for you.
Yeah.
So but that's almost any bot in the game. Almost all of them, there's a certain way you could work them into where they'd be a big help to you.
Yeah, but my biggest thing with Trax is he shouldn't be classified as an aerial bot. You can't equip the enhanced ordnance core on him and get any benefit out of it. He should be classified as a special bot. He shouldn't even be on this list. And that's the biggest reason he's Roger Moore. His ability is situational. He's Roger Moore.
My name's Bond. James Bond.
I'm okay with that.
Yep.
I'm okay with poor tracks.
Yep. All right.
Misclassification got him on that one.
Yep. All right. Our next aerial bot is Swoop, and we both know where he's going.
Connery all day. This is like Goldfinger Connery, like without a doubt.
Oh yeah.
Him being on this list is not shocking.
Not at all. Because you've soloed. I have not leveled him the way you have, but you have soloed several bases with him. And if you pair him with Tigerhawk together, oh god, that's just mean, you know?
Oh, like right now, I have the G1 G-Metal Swoop Core maxed out. His ability at 7, and he's level 58.
I have
he's a
2 of
4-star,
those.
and he's a Hoss.
I have 2 G-Metal Swoop Cores, and I don't even level the first one yet, and that's just because I'm busy with other stuff. Otherwise, I'd have maxed one out by now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Right.
he's very, very powerful bot. His only downside is that he is more vulnerable to anti-air. But again, there's not that much defense against anti-air anyway because air is out of the meta. So nobody's
And his
really
G1 core increases his resistance to that as well.
Exactly. So even if it was the thing, he's prepared for it. So yeah, I like Swoop. All right, our next aerial bot is Brainstorm. And once upon a time, I would have had him in Lazenby. But I have seen how good he can be. I have seen how I personally don't plan to use him much in that regard, but I know how good he can be. At best, I'll put him Timothy Dalton because I know how good he can be, but I just that's just not my style of play, you know.
I'm okay with that because I'm not. I know he can be good too. I'm just not. I'm not a Brainstorm person yet. Maybe if I get his 5-star and play around with him, I'll come around. But
I mean, I have his 5-star, but I'm content to just put an attack core on him and just use him as DPS. You know?
Yeah, there you go.
That's just,
basically.
That's really all I use him for. I might use his ability a couple of times here and there if I see an opportunity, but I don't base my strategy around it. But I don't war in Prime League hard either. So, you know, if I did, I'd probably think of it different. Because Waza loves him. And I don't blame him. You know, the way he uses him, spot on. For sure.
Yeah.
It's just not my style of play, you know?
I would agree, yeah.
So, all right. Our next bot is Air Raid. Let's not even discuss that one.
Air Raid. Oh, my God. Not an Air Raid fan.
No.
I don't like Air Raid at all. Really? You're not even going Lazenby with him?
No, because there are worse bots.
I don't know. I can't stand Air Raid. I know his ability can work, but any ability you have to use another ability on top of it is just...
Yeah, but
not my thing.
I really feel like there's worse aerial bots than Air Raid. He's almost he's almost the worst, but he's not quite the worst because you can use him under the right circumstances. It's just not ideal. All right. Our next bot is Power Glide.
Power Glide. Carpet Bomb. Really? You're gonna put you're saying Power Glide is worse?
You have to spam his ability like 3 or 4 times to take out a target because it's so inconsistent. I actually learned a thing about his. It's not you will if you don't place it just right. You got to place it way ahead of what you're trying to hit, and then it'll one-shot it. But you have to leave like that much room, and then the carpet bomb will get it. Oh. It's really hard to place to get it to do what you want it to do. Oh God! All right, so where would you put him?
I would put him Roger. Well, I would flip him in Air Raid if it was me. But again, somebody's got to be last.
Yeah. So you would have him. You would have Power Glide and Roger Moore. You don't think he's the worst aerial bot in the game?
For me, it's Air Raid.
Let's kind of.
Yeah, put him in the middle. That's fine. Because I'm just saying, I don't like Air Raid.
Let's put both
we'll
of
put
them in the
both
middle
there.
Because I can't. It's like I don't like either.
Because I have the 4-star Power Glide, and I've been messing around with him, and I've learned with him is I can one-shot, not every time, because I can't nail down exactly where that ability needs to be laid to do it.
Right.
But I have done it multiple times. I just can't always recreate it.
Well, unless they both get level 11 abilities that I think Air Raid already has a level 11 ability, doesn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't remember what it is. That tells you how big a deal it was. But Power Glide, he still needs one, and
Yeah.
unless it's like dramatic, I will never level this guy.
All right, well let's keep on the road.
All right, our next bot is Cosmos, and I will put Cosmos in Dalton personally. Because
I was thinking Craig, and my reason is because he's Dalton unless you take into account how good he is in an outpost. And I think him being an outpost bot puts him in Craig.
Yeah, I didn't think about outpost. I was thinking about raids because he's very useful in raids.
He is useful in raids, but to me, how good he is as an outpost bot puts him one segment higher than just him on his own.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about putting hack bots in outposts. That's a good strategy. You know, that I hate when Mind Wipe is an outpost. I hate that. Especially when I'm soloing. I'm like, oh, you bastard. You know? All right. Our next bot is Blades. And I don't use him much, but I know you'll have him like all the way.
Yeah, he's Connery or Brosnan. You know what? Let's do Brosnan because there is anti-hack cores now for later in the game. So I think that knocks him into Brosnan.
I think it does too.
But he's amazing. He is still amazing.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, that is all 18 aerial bots.
What about Cybertron Jetfire?
Oh, he was at the top of my list, and I totally... How did I miss that? Okay, yeah. Forgot about Cybertron Jetfire. Well, he's Brosnan. He's definitely Brosnan.
Yeah, he is. He's up there. He's pretty equal to regular Jetfire, so he's definitely Brosnan. He does do a little bit more damage, but when you put him in raids, like if you were just considering raids, he's Connor.
All day.
That's how good he is at raids.
Yeah. Now, his ability is a smidge more expensive. It's 6+2 rather than 4+2, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not that bad.
No, it's not, and he does. You get a little bit more bang for your buck too. So it's Cybertron Jetfire, he's awesome.
Finn's face is getting blacked out, but he's here to tell me it's dinner time because he gets fed about 7 o'clock, and it is 4 minutes to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the time of this recording. So this boy is hungry.
Yeah, we got 3 minutes left, so let's try to wrap up this so we don't have to retype it.
Good Lord, yeah.
At least finish the ranking of these. If we have to do the outro, then
Well, that's all of them. So we're pretty much done with the rankings.
Okay. All right. All right, everybody. So that is our rankings. We have 3 of them Connery, a ton of them in Brosnan, a couple Craig. Dalton's got quite a few, and then Roger Moore and Lazenby. There's a few people there, so it's not bad. Nobody's really all the way at the bottom, though, because, aerial bots are still awesome.
I would have had Paraglide at the bottom.
I would have had
Paraglide and George Lazenby. But you know what? That speaks to just how terrible George Lazenby was that we can't get a single bot to be in his category.
This never happened to the other fella.
Yes. We can't agree on one that's that bad. It's like, we just can't put one there because I have Air Raid, you have Power Glide, so they're in that middle section between the two.
Yep.
So there you go. But yeah, I'm happy with these rankings. I feel like between little debate, we got them about right. I'm happy with where everybody is.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Swoop's still the king though for me. I hate to say it, but Swoop to me is the best.
Nah, I think Strafe because Strafe. I think Strafe is definitely the #1 aerial bot in the game because not only he does the most amount of damage, but also he focuses in on one target at a time and makes sure it's destroyed before moving on to another target. Whereas Swoop and Tigerhawk, it's kind of random. They don't necessarily destroy everything they're shooting at, so you might have to do it once or twice. They're still devastating, and it's still a good thing to have, but Strafe, you will definitely take out the target you're aiming at, even if it's just the first one.
Yep. I can see that. Again, I don't have a 4-star Strafe, so my opinion's probably slanted by that as well. So we'll see once I get 4-star Strafe. But yeah, I think I know he's definitely Connery. So there we go. There's the rankings. And so hope everybody enjoyed this week's episode. Sorry it took us 2 weeks to get it to you, but here it is. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed doing it. Make sure you check out my videos this weekend. Make sure you check out DJ's Crystal Kraken, probably be Monday or Tuesday one. And we will see y'all later. Same bot time, same bot channel. Frankster out.